Okay, so if you don't want me to hear you, Monica, you know, like who was it yesterday complaining? Yeah, Shravya was complaining that she was watching one of the YouTubes and all she heard was me yelling at you, Henry, and Cindy. So if you don't ask STFUP, then the same session is going to happen today, okay? It's going to be yelling at you. Okay, do this. Hello, hello, class has started. And the cameras are rolling. Sujal, answer. Oh, what? Medicine? So, you know, on your quizzes in your test, if you want at least 1 point every time, if it's an integration question, put a plus C. You'll get a point. Okay? You don't put that, you lose a point. Okay?
So the one that I literally had no idea like how to make it work if I put plus C.
You've got 1 point there. All right? Everybody okay on this? Okay, if it's an indefinite integral, okay, obviously, not if it's a definite integral. Is everybody all right on this?
No, I'm bad at these. Can you explain it? Obviously, it's my test.
Right?
Okay.
Right?
And you add one. Okay, divide by, got you. Hold on.
Okay? So everybody all right there? Okay, now do this. Now do this. Sorry, the answer is 0.
Undefined.
Sorry?
Undefined.
Thank you. Why?
Because the thing is 0.
What thing?
The
The denominator is going to be 0, right? Because this guy becomes x to the minus 1 dx. And if you follow the rule that we just did, okay, in the previous slide, okay, you're going to end up dividing by a 0. Well, then really, what this is, it's not saying that you cannot do that. That's not what it's saying. It's saying that you cannot use the power rule, okay? It doesn't work. The power rule doesn't work. But clearly, a function like 1 over x is a nice, simple mathematical function, okay? So, it does have an integral, and its integral is equal to this, by definition. Okay, so what this is saying is that the integral of 1 over x dx equals ln x plus c. All right? Okay? And if you want to know the origins of it, you'll have to read the book on section 5.1. And they actually do this by definition. In other words, they'll say, we will define integral of 1 over x dx to be equal to ln x. Okay? Define it to be that. Well, so my question to you is, then I can say that the derivative of ln x equals 1 over x. Okay? So the integral of 1 over x dx is ln x. The derivative of ln x is equal to 1 over x. Question to you is why? Anybody able to answer that question? Okay, yesterday on your quiz, the first question may have looked like this. Okay, it might be a little different because there are 2 different versions. Yes, the answer? Exactly, because if you remember in question 1, it says find the indefinite integral and check by differentiation. So you are supposed to integrate this and you are supposed to get this answer. Okay? Okay? And then if you differentiated this, okay, if you differentiate this, okay, you will get, yeah, exactly. So let's go through this. Minus 1 over 3. Remember, this guy becomes 3 minus 2x cubed to the 1/2, right? The square root becomes 1/2. You're going to times it by 1/2. And then this guy's going to become 3 minus 2x cubed. You guys are going to hear me yelling again, Henry. Okay? And now you're going to be on your way out, as a matter of fact. Okay? And then you're going to multiply by the derivative of the inside, which is what many people forgot. That's the chain rule. That's the chain rule. Okay? And so that gives you minus 6x squared. Okay? And if you reduce this and all that stuff, okay, you will see that your answer is x squared over square root of 3 minus 2x cubed. Okay? So you can see that this is the same as that. So when you integrate, okay, I'll have to bust you guys, okay? I will really move you out now if you don't shut up, okay? Well, the 3 people at the back there. Yes?
Can you do the problem for the test with the tangent?
Yeah, we'll do that later. Let me go through the material today, okay? So what I'm saying is that when you integrate and you get an answer, if you differentiate that answer, you'll get back what you integrated. Okay? Which is what you were supposed to have done in problems 1 and 2 yesterday in the quiz. So for the same reason, like I told you earlier, okay, that the integral of 1 over x dx equals ln x plus c, this is your answer. If you differentiate this, you get this. Okay, so in other words, the derivative of ln x is 1 over x. You guys got that? You guys all right on that? Okay. An extension of this result is this little thingy. Okay? So what this is saying is that, remember your graph of, does anybody know what the graph of 1 over t looks like? Sorry? 1 over t, what does it look like? Yes? That's right. Exactly. It's actually a hyperbola is what it is. One leg of a hyperbola. Okay? One leg for a hyperbola. So what this result is telling you is that if you want to find the area from x equals 1, from t equals 1 to t equals x, if you want to find this area, then lo and behold, this area is equal to ln x. Okay? Pretty amazing result. Then the answer would be 0, right? Log of 1 is 0. Which kind of makes sense because then these two lines would lie on top of each other and there'd be no area, which be 0. Okay? So everybody all right on that? Okay, I have one example too and then we're done. I don't know how many people got my message yesterday about the worksheet. Okay, so. Okay, I'm doing number 3 on page 329, so you need to open your book and see what the problem's all about. Okay, so it's saying use a graphing utility to evaluate the log by A using the natural log key. So that's the easy part, right? That's the easy part. So you just go ln 45. And you get 3.80 whatever. Okay? So that's part A. Part B, using the integration capabilities to evaluate the integral. So this is what they're asking you to do now, okay? So you're going to go 1 to 45, 1 over t dt. Okay, so you're going to put in 1 divided by x instead of t. Graph that. And you can't second calc 7 this right now. Okay, you cannot do this because the window is not wide enough. You want to go up to x equals 45. So just change your window so that x max equals 50. Okay, and you can make x min equals 0. Shouldn't matter, but okay. And go graph that. So it's a bitsy graph there. that you can't quite see. Okay, it shouldn't matter. And then if you go second calc, number 7, okay, your lower limit was 1, upper limit 45, and the answer is 3.8067. Same answer as we had earlier. Okay, so everybody all right on the concepts here? Okay, so today's work, there's no calculus. Okay, today's work is all algebra 1 and 2. Okay, all algebra 1 and 2. That worksheet is all algebra 1 and 2. So start working on that, and in the meantime I'll answer that other question that you had, Laura, and that was this integral here. Okay, so this was a u sub, and if you had the rules in front of you, right? You had all the rules. Well, one version was and the other one wasn't. Right? There are two different versions. Okay, divide by 2 just means take it out of the integration sign. It's not a big deal. It's the same thing. The same thing. Just half of what you have. Okay, so if you make u equals tangent theta, then du equals secant squared theta d theta. Sorry? So you can see that you've got secant squared theta d theta right there, and you have it right there. So you're going to replace that with a du. You can pull the half out, and in place of tangent theta, you're going to write a u. Well, how do you integrate 1/2 u du? Michelle. Okay, integrating u du. What's the power of u? Hang on, let me ask questions. 1. You increase it by 1.
You increase by 2.
2. You divide by 2. You already have a half. If you divide by 2, what do you get? 4. And u is your variable, so I don't want to see a u in there. You're going to come back and rewrite this in place. Okay. All right. Johanna did it a different way. She made secant theta equal to u. And do it that way. She was the only one who did a very different way. But you do not do that. You do not do that. Because the derivative of secant is what? Secant tangent. It's secant theta, tangent theta. But this is secant squared. So you're going to differentiate secant squared like this, then times it by the derivative of secant, which is secant theta, tangent theta. I guess you could have done that. Okay, so take your pick. The last question was part of your worksheet, except you had to find a C in there, that's all.
We get it back like tomorrow?
You'll get it back tomorrow after I've graded those guys. The scores are up there on the website, though. Sorry? Access to what? Oh, questions? No. Does it say separate sheet, doesn't it? Does it say separate sheet?